One address to remember, WLFI.com.
Green rolls Mike Dan and Q.
One primary for president goes to the front runner. The other ends in an upset. That's coming up.
And rolls Q.
Dozens of voters were turned away as polls were closing. Why the Tippecanoe County Clerk says
Ready,
it was legal.
And rolls Mike Hopman, Dan out. Q.
A gorgeous day today, but we're tracking rain chances in your forecast. I'll let
Ready
you
to
know
open
when
out
that
a C.
precipitation will be arriving.
And C rolls Mike's out.
News 18 at 11 starts now.
Stand by Q.
WLFI Lafayette. News
Mike
from
Dan.
where you live.
And Q.
Good evening, I'm Dan Klein. Thanks for joining us on this primary election night. We have a number
Super
of
is
local
out.
races that we're following, and we'll get to those in a moment. But first, the Republican
Next, we'll take
presidential
a
race
package and
took
in.
a major turn tonight when Texas Senator Ted Cruz lost big to Donald Trump, then announced he's ending his run for the White House. Weijia Zhang is in Indianapolis with the latest on the big wins for Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders.
Sound A, Mike's out.
CBS News projects Donald Trump is the winner of the Indiana Republican primary. His victory
Super is clear.
pushes him closer to the 1,237 delegates needed to claim his party's nomination before the convention.
We're going
Super in.
after Hillary Clinton. She will not be a great president.
out.
She will not be a good president. She will be a poor president.
For Ted Cruz, the loss in Indiana was one too many. Cruz told supporters he is suspending his campaign.
From the beginning,
Cruz.
I've said that I would continue on
Out.
as long as there was a viable path to victory. Tonight, I'm sorry to say, it appears that path has been foreclosed.
The chairman of the
Weijia.
Republican National Committee said Trump will be the presumptive nominee and called on the
And
party
out.
to unite behind him. In the Democratic primary, Bernie Sanders upset frontrunner Hillary Clinton.
The ideas that we
Bernie.
are fighting for are the ideas of the future
Out.
of America.
Clinton spent Indiana's election day campaigning in the general election
Stand by
swing
two.
state of Ohio. Weijia Zhang,
Mike Dan.
CBS News, Indianapolis.
Q.
Trump will pick up most
Ready,
of the
CG2.
57 delegates up for grabs in the Republican race. 83 delegates are at stake for the Democrats. Turning now to the local races, we now know the two people who will face off are State Representative Randy Truitt's seat in
CG2.
District 26. Sally Siegrist and Victoria Wieste both won with a significant margin.
full
In the
screen's
Democratic
up.
primary, Wieste beat Deanna McMillan with 59% of the vote. In the Republican primary, Siegrist took 63% of the vote over Jerry Keene at 37%.
Ready,
Both
sound
District
and B.
26 winners already have a plan moving forward to November.
Sound B, Mike's out.
I think it's very important that we keep it positive. I want to sign a pact,
Super is
a
out.
pledge with my opponent to stay positive.
We want to have a really inclusive
And
message, one that appeals broadly, and one that shows that I'm the candidate
Out.
that's
Standby
capable of
voice.
changing the conversation in the legislature.
Mike Dan. Q on 2.
Segrist says she feels
I didn't see
pleased and
camera
humbled
via, I
after
just took
tonight's
camera.
win. Wieste says she's excited and gratified to see such community support. In the
Ready,
race for
CG2
State
full
Representative
screen.
District 25, Justin Notaris and Maurice Fuller vied for Republican incumbent Don Leahy's seat.
And CG2
At
is
last
out.
check, with just 2% of votes
Wipe
counted,
sound
Fuller
A
has
next.
the lead. Fuller has more than 2,100 votes compared to Notaris' 1,600 votes. If elected, Fuller plans to fight for workers' rights and lower property taxes.
Ready,
If
sound
he's the
A.
Democratic primary winner, he says he's just going to keep preparing for November's election.
And sound A, Mike's out.
I'll just continue like I've been
This
doing.
is short standby.
Let the people decide,
Super out.
and there won't
Mike
be no
Dan.
changes.
Q.
If Fuller wins, he will go against
Ready,
Leahy
two.
in the November general election.
Two.
It will be a rematch of the 2014 election. In a race that was hotly
Ready,
contested, the
CG2.
Tippecanoe County surveyor easily survived
on
an
it.
upset bid from a challenger. Zach Beasley beat Michael
Ready,
Doherty by a
sound.
margin of 66 to 34%.
Sound B. And Q voice.
Beasley walked in with clapping and cheers once
Super
the result
is
was
out.
no longer in doubt. As News 18 has already reported, the race has became heated with Doherty using
Like to
the
sound
slogan
A
"Stop
next."
Outsourcing." Beasley says while it was a catchy slogan, it was not an accurate term. That's because contracting out professional services is a common practice for Tippecanoe County and others across the country. After such a heated race with no
Ready,
local
sound
polling
A.
available, he didn't know what to expect, but he's honored to win.
Sound A, Mike's out.
It's a privilege. I'm very humbled, and I feel very blessed to be given the opportunity to represent the community, the voters of Tippecanoe County for another 4 years. That's something I don't take lightly.
Dan.
I vow to do the best that I possibly can.
Q.
Beasley has served as surveyor since 2010. So far, he's running unopposed in November.
On to
incumbent Tippecanoe County Coroner Donna Avolt wins the Republican primary, but just by a small margin.
Up on it.
Avolt beat Mark Bono with 51% of the vote.
On it.
Avolt survived the challenge. It was a very close race. News 18's Alexis Moberger was there and spoke with the winner, Donna Avolt. Alexis?
Dan, it was a close race. Incumbent Donna Avolt won by 266 votes against Mark Bono. Avolt has worked in the coroner's office for more than 30 years, and this term will be Avolt's last. She says her campaign was a journey this time around, but she's looking forward to the future.
Sound B, mic's out.
I am delighted that the voters had confidence again in the good work that we do.
Super is out.
And the 12 of us that work at this office. That's a wonderful feeling to have.
And Q.
At this time, Avolt is running unopposed. If re-elected in November, Avolt plans to work on lowering the number of co-sleeping infant deaths in the state. And she wants to help address the high number of drug addictions in Tippecanoe County. Alexis Moberger, News 18.
And 2.
All right, thanks, Alexis. Amid the heavy turnout and long lines today, some voters were turned away. It's news that we broke to Tippecanoe County Clerk Krista Coffey. News 18's Jeff Smith joins us now and reports the clerk says while the move was legal, she wishes it would not have happened. Jeff?
Yeah, the county clerk, Krista Coffey, says, well, it didn't break the law specifically. It did go against the spirit of the law. Now, this happened at one polling location at least. That was at the Eagles Lodge at 18th and Twickenham Boulevard in Lafayette. And it affected an unknown number of voters, possibly more than 100.
A-rolls.
The issue is the instruction at the top of this checklist for closing vote centers. It states that at 6 p.m., the supervisor must go outside and announce that the polls are closed. Anyone within 50 feet of the entrance must be allowed to vote. Workers there at the Eagles Lodge made the decision to not allow anyone outside of 50 feet to vote. Coffey says the policy has always been to keep more people from getting in line at 6 o'clock, but to allow everyone to vote. Well, tonight, that meant that the poll at the Faith Community Center stayed open an extra 90 minutes to let that happen.
Sound B, mic's out.
We have always made an exception to put someone at the end of the line, and we weren't contacted to verify that information or what the procedure should be. So technically they were correct,
Stand by.
But in the spirit of elections, I wish we had done something different.
Q.
But again, Coffey says in the Eagles Lodge case, no one broke the law. She says once a person leaves the line and goes somewhere else, there's really no way to prove that they should actually be allowed to vote.
Well, Jeff, what should voters do in this type of situation?
Well, Coffey's advice is to call somebody. If you're not sure of what's going to happen, you can call the elections office. You can even call law enforcement. But she says if anybody has any questions about any type of voting problem, they should not keep it to themselves.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jeff.
And 2 moves.
Well, a winner has been declared in the GOP primary race for U.S. Senate for the seat currently held by retiring Senator Dan Coates.
And CG2's
Republican
up.
Todd Young has beaten Marlon Sutzman. Young will now face
cool.
Democratic candidate Barron Hill in the general election.
On to
Republican incumbent Todd Rokita may have a chance to seek his 4th term in Indiana's 4th congressional district.
Up on
At last check, 98% of the vote has been counted. Rokita so far has 69%, while his challenger Kevin Grant received 31%.
Alexis needs to scoot back. Tell Alexis to scoot back. She can't
Grant
lose
against
that
Rokita in the primary 2 years ago.
We're too close to
Rokita
boxes.
would once again face
Someone
Democrat
please.
John Dale in the general
Alexis, tell her to
election.
scoot back.
Dale lost to Rokita in 2014.
On it.
In Carroll County, the Republican incumbent for District 2
Scoot back. Tell her to
County
scoot back now.
Commissioner
She's got to
is
scoot back
defeated in
now.
tonight's
I need
primary.
boxes.
Steve Pearson
Or no, I
beat
don't.
Pat
Sorry,
Clausen
CG2.
with 52% of the vote.
I got just
But
ahead of
in District
myself.
3, incumbent Bill Brown wins over James Hancock with 57% of the vote.
On
The
it.
2
All right.
Republican
Cool. There we go.
commissioners face
All right.
challenges from opponents on the
Ready
county
boxes.
council. News 18 Samantha Tiki was in Delphi as the results came in and joins us with reaction from the District 2 candidate. Samantha?
On it.
Dan, in District 2, Carroll County Commissioner Pat Clausen was upset by Councilman Steve Pearson for the Republican seat. After votes were totaled, Pearson overthrew Clausen with 52% of the vote. Clausen was running for a third term and only pulled in 2,030 votes. That's compared to Pearson's 2,184 votes. Pearson currently serves as the vice president for the Carroll County Council. He said his experience in that position makes him the best fit.
And sound A, mic's out.
I've got a lot of experience with the budget with the 4 years I've been there. I can take that knowledge up to the commissioners and work together. That's the problem with Carroll County today. It's the communications between the two.
8 years is enough for anybody in some of these positions. I didn't run as hard as I should have.
10 seconds.
You know, I wish all those winners well.
Stand by.
They have a big task to pull the county together and move forward. And I trust that they'll all do that.
And Q.
In District 3, incumbent Bill Brown survived a challenge from Councilman Jim Hancock. Both Pearson and Brown are running unopposed at this time. Samantha Tiki, News 18.
Q, Sam.
All right, thanks, Samantha. 6 people were vying for 3 Carroll County Council at-large seats. The winners are Lawrence Stauffer, Melinda Rosser,
Thank you, Bob, for sticking with it.
In the race for Carroll County Coroner, Jordan Cree beats Kristen Enoch in the Republican primary. Current coroner J.D. Cree is term limited. The Republican primary for the Carroll County Recorder race has wrapped up with a win for Penny Titus, who won against Randy Ruff and Tina Johnson, the county's former interim auditor. In Benton County, the Republican race for Commissioner District 3 has been decided. Brian Berry took the win over Edward Schroeder with 61% of the vote. In White County, John Heimlich has won the Republican primary for District 2 Commissioner. He defeated Christopher Fullerton. Heimlich was just shy of 3,000 votes, with about 62% of the total. Also in White County, Jim Davis, Kevin Casey Crabb, and Art Anderson are elected to council at large. It was a narrow split with the 4th candidate, Curtis Grigsby, just 5% behind. In Clinton County, 2 Republicans were vying for the seat of coroner. Making her way to November's ballot is incumbent Amanda Abbott with 55% of the vote. Her challenger Ed Kripe received 45%. Kripe was the Clinton County coroner from 2005 to 2012. In the race for Clinton County Commissioner in District 1, incumbent Bert Weaver will be the Republican candidate in November. Just 13 votes separated Weaver from Steve Woods. Weaver will face Democrat Mark Newhart. In the race for Clinton County Commissioner in District 2, incumbent Corey Boyles came in last. Joshua Ewitz won with 48% of the vote. The 3 Clinton County Council at-large candidates on November's ballot will be Clark Beard, Jeff Chinowith, and incumbent James Mike Hensley. In Cass County, Cheryl Alcorn will be on the ballot in November for the race for county auditor. Alcorn received 48% of the vote, while Robin Bancroft had 15%, and Stephen Michael Kane had 36%. And in the race for Cass County Treasurer, incumbent Kathy Adair takes home the win with 63% of the votes over Vandine Ide's 37%. An upset in Cass County as Josh Ladon wins the primary
Cameron's in this bump, BT-dub.
Over incumbent Jenny Lombardi Clark. 51% of the vote went to Ladon, while Clark received 49%. Voters chose Stacy Donato, Chuck Ladow, and George Stebbins as the 3 candidates for Cass County Council at large. Ladow is a former Logansport City Council member. Most of the area stayed dry today, but more rain is moving in. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Cameron Hoffman, who is working on his forecast. Hi, Cameron.
Hey, Dan, that's right. Scattered rainfall expected to arrive overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. I'll let you know how long you'll need that umbrella for and when things will dry out. Coming up, my full forecast after the break.
Break rolls, mic's out, track MC, and fade. Stream off. Woo! Yay! Good jobs, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.